Hello, Sparrow. Hello, Bones. Bones, you appear to be online. I just did a quick period online command. We got one other person online. I don't know if anyone else is gonna make it online for the stream. I haven't streamed in like a couple of months. It's been a little while because my life has been a little bit hectic. I actually wrote a public post on my Patreon, patreon.com/secretfoxfire, recently, just kind of explaining what's been up and why I haven't been very active. But I'm working on it. My chair, I still have the same squeaky, horrible, cheapest chair from IKEA that I've been using for as long as I've been making YouTube and Twitch stuff. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but like the fabric is just being completely worn away. Every once in a while I find little bits of it on the floor, and I need to get a new chair. So, but I'm not gonna make it online. That's okay, Sparrow. I'm glad that you're here. I've been watering your plants whenever I can. We'll go and visit your place while we're online. Excuse me. Just been like trying to hurriedly eat a few apple slices because I've had another very busy day, and I realized that all I've eaten all day is like carbohydrates and grease. Like, I'm too old to eat nothing but carbohydrates and grease all day. I was like, if I don't get a vegetable or a fruit in me immediately, I might die. So I didn't manage to finish my apple slices. You might hear the occasional little crunch. I hope that's not too unpleasant. Grapes are good. I can't get grapes because my cat, Meep, loves them. Not to eat, but to play with. And he will try to get his claws in them. And the problem with that is that grapes are toxic to cats. And if I buy grapes and I have grapes, Meep will try to bat them around the floor and ultimately get them on himself and make himself sick. So anyway, it's a vintage story. I'm gonna swallow this so I don't choke live on camera in front of my many thousands of viewers. I'm gonna try to get comfortable in the least comfortable chair on the planet. You'd think I'd have gotten a new one by now, but it just... Who has the time? Who has the time to buy a new chair? We're on my server, the community server, open to my community. If anyone is watching this, either now on Twitch or later on YouTube, which is where most people ultimately watch it, which is totally fine. If you want to get on the server, you can. It's $1 per month. Join my Patreon for two purposes. One, the Patreon income. It's been a while since I streamed, you guys. I was never that good at it, let's be honest. The Patreon income pays for the server, and I have a fairly expensive server host because they're really, really good. They have really good machines, they have really good customer support, they always help me solve all my problems. It's Akliz is the one that I use, highly recommend them. Not sponsored, but I just really, really like them. So I think it's worth the money, so the money from Patreon pays for that. And the other reason is just that I'm not ready to run a public server at the moment. I have considered it. I may eventually make this a public server. We shall see. But to run a public server, you gotta have some kind of security in place to protect against griefers and stuff like that, so... Of the temporary chicken pit... I put a fence around the chicken pit, yesterday, I think it was. Because the chickens are just in... There's foxes around here. Those chickens were gonna get eaten. Okay, I'm facing in this direction. It looks a bit messy. So, for the benefit of anyone watching this who is not familiar with the server and the community and all that, I don't like the combat in Vintage Story. I like the survival aspects that are non-combat, and the problem is if you take away the monsters and the wolves and the bears trying to kill you, there's not actually a lot of challenge in this game. Once you know what you're doing, it is laughably easy to gain enough resources to stay fed, and just to stay alive, to survive the winter. It's pitifully easy, you might say. So what we've done here is, I say we, what I've done, it was me, it was all me. It was all my idea. Hi, Rufty. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. If you're able to get on the server, you'd be welcome. If not, just hang out on the stream, that's cool too. So what I've done is, I've got a mod that just removes the monsters completely. I used the in-game vanilla settings to set the entities to passive mode. So anything that would normally be aggressive, like wolves and bears, for example, will not attack you except in self-defense. So if they take damage, either because you hit them... Excuse me. Apple, maybe not the best choice to be trying to chow down before a stream. If they take damage from walking off a cliff or something like that, they will blame you. There's limitations to the system. I haven't seen that happen yet on this server. In self-defense, they will attack. They're not completely docile. You can't just walk up and punch them to death. And I have, in fact, been kicked to death by a deer already. I don't think I shared that with anyone yet. I meant to, and I forgot. It was dark. I saw a deer that was, like, glitched in like, a tree. So it was, like, trying to run and just kind of running in place. You know how mobs can glitch sometimes? And I was like, it's stuck. It's a passive mob. Deer aren't hostile. Deer aren't violent. Deer just run away. So I walked up to it with a flint axe and I started trying to axe it to death. And it turned around and it just went bam, bam, and I was dead. And it was dark, and my only light source at that time was with my corpse. So I had to wander through the forest in the dark with no map. As you can see, we have no map. That's normally there's a map up here. No map. We have craftable cartography, which removes the map, the coordinates, everything. You have to craft those to get them back. I do have a compass. It's not on me right now. I did make, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. So that's the first challenge. Now, I'm actually quite used to playing without a map. You've been killed by many enemies in self-defense. Yeah, they do. They will fight back. Even the deer, as it turns out. Good thing to know. I learned the hard way. Now you don't have to. So we've got Indappled Groves, which makes collecting, gathering, processing wood much more complicated and also realistic. Oh, hello, Rufty. You made it onto the server. Hooray. We'll turn around in a sec. I want to give a little tour. I'm just facing this open field right now. With a lot of trees planted. These trees will take hundreds of days to grow because of the settings that we've got. So yeah, Indappled Groves. If anyone's not familiar, I'm just going to try to list the mods and give it a very brief, because there's a lot. Craftable Cartography, Indappled Groves. We've got Toolsmith, which makes crafting tools a little bit more complicated, but also gives you some more options. We've got Butchery, which means in order to get all the drops from animals that you hunt, you need to make butcher's hooks and then drain the blood and then use a butcher's table and a whole bunch of... It's a much more resource-intensive thing, with the potential for giving you bonus drops if you get up to the highest tier of equipment. So it's not all just to make it harder. What else have we got? We've got Forager's Gamble, is that the name of it? Which obscures the names of all food items until you have eaten 5 of them. You can nibble a food item by crouching and eating it, and then you will only take 1/10 of the nutrition, but also 1/10 of the damage if it turns out to be poisonous, because it also obscures nutrition information, poison information, and crafting information. So you gotta know your stuff, or you gotta take some risks and take some damage and accept some poison into your life in order to identify stuff. Bones was mortally wounded by a sow while hunting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, pigs are tough. I mean, that is realistic. Pigs in the real world are also, especially wild ones, very strong and dangerous. They will kill you. I do wish there's compatibility with floral zones. We do have floral zones. We have one of the floral zones mods in here. I didn't put all of them in because we also got wildcraft fruit and nut. Partially to add more options for food and stuff, and partially to add more poisonous things for us to gamble on. And also mycodiversity, which adds a whole bunch of new mushrooms. So the vanilla ones, I think most of us know which ones are safe to eat at this point. People who've been playing for a while. Mycodiversity ones adds a whole bunch more, most of which at this point I am familiar with, but it's taken a lot of trial and error and a little bit of poisons. What else have we got on here? We've got so much. We've got crazy. I'm just somewhere here. I've got a list, I think. I don't have it readily available. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff on here that makes the game more complicated. I have also added a whole bunch of tweaks of my own. You may notice that the hunger bar, the saturation bar, has a lot of little things. It's because the max saturation is now 4,000. It was not easy to make that work. And actually on 1.20 it didn't work at all. Fortunately, they partially fixed the bug with it for 1.21. And it does work now, although sometimes there's a visual glitch where it will switch back to 1500, but then it will fix itself eventually, so we can live with that. Hunger speed is doubled, so we get hunger twice as fast, but we can go longer without eating because the saturation is normally 1500, so double that will be 3000, so we've got an extra 1000 But then to fill up, I have not changed the saturation values of the foods. So to fill up your hunger bar, you need to eat a lot more. I have also increased the amount of meat and fat that animals drop because frankly, I think the vanilla settings are stupid. The fact that you need to kill 2 entire chickens to make 1 serving, not a bowl, not a pot, a serving of meat stew just feels dumb. So I very much increased the meat and fat drops from animals, but at the same time, I also drastically reduced their spawn rates. So you can overhunt and we can run out of animals. And in fact, I haven't seen very many animals around here for a while, so we may have been overhunting a bit. There's also the issue of wolves and bears. They won't attack us now, except in self-defense, but they will still hunt other animals to eat, and so they can kill the population. I did also reduce the frequency with which they need to eat, so that they don't completely decimate the population too fast, but, you know, eventually they do. What else did I do? I disabled, so Wildcraft, if you're not familiar, Wildcraft or Herbalism, which is the dependency mod for Wildcraft, changes berry bushes so that you can't just break them and get the bush. You have to clip them with a knife or with shears. And what I've done is I've disabled that. So if you break the berry bush, you get nothing, maybe some sticks. And if you try to clip the berry bush, just nothing happens. So the only way to get new berry bushes, you have to like remember where the bushes are in the world and go find them to harvest them. And the only way to get new ones is to buy them from the gardener trader, which is something that Wildcraft adds in but then doesn't actually make a structure for, so it never appears in the world. And I actually made a structure for it. And we actually do have one. We have found one. We'll go visit that later. It's very cheap to buy new berry bushes and stuff, but you do have to go and buy them, and there's a limit on how many and what's available at any given time. So you can't just make a huge patch of berry bushes for yourself, is the ultimate thing. Months are 60 days long. We are now on June 33rd of the first year. This is to make farming more difficult. It will also make the winter more difficult. We have Art of Growing, which has been patched unofficially for 1.21. We also had that on the previous server. Means that wild crops will drop wild variants of food which do not produce as much, and you have to breed them into larger versions. And grass is not dry, and grains are not dry when you harvest them. You have to dry them before you can process them. We've added in all kinds of complicated stuff, basically. Yes, Sparrow. The one with the crock one is just, it allows us to seal crocks with resin. In the base game, you can only use fat or beeswax, which is dumb. Resin would work perfectly for that. So this mod adds that. It's very childishly named, but it does do that. And we also have bricklayers. We have Taylor's Delight. We have Woolenmore, which are Tells mods, and those also add more complicated requirements for recipes, but also give you more options for things to do. So okay, I've been standing here staring at this field, this very ugly field for a while. I am up on a dirt arch, which has been left here by someone. I don't know who. I'm not going to take it down because I didn't make it. Let's begin a tour, shall we? And as I think of more ways that I've slow talks, yes, very recently added slow talks. So when you drink alcohol, the effects come on slowly. There are benefits to drinking, but if you drink too much, then you can get alcohol poisoning, and it's very unpleasant. So we've got that. This is spawn area. I think the actual block that was spawn, it was somewhere right about here, I think, or maybe slightly over here. We've broken the bushes that were around, so that was how I remembered where it was, because we got no coordinate system. This is the first pit kilns, which I threw together when we started. Oh, I think there was something here to block this. It's gotten broken. But these were just for making our first clay items. This is the chicken pit. Oh, we also have verticality. That one doesn't make things more difficult. It makes things, it gives you more movement options. Yeah, this is just an open pit of chickens. I think there's a hare. Yeah, there's a hare in there as well. I actually did I've gotten so used to just climbing over everything. I love verticality. I love it so much. On the one hand, I want it to be pretty flower pot. Over here. On the one hand, you mean this one? It's a chthonic flower pot. Somebody must have either found it in a ruin or purchased it. You can't make those. Yeah, verticality allows you to climb. So like I can jump up, grab this, and climb up. But you can only climb 2 blocks. So if I just try to climb like this, it doesn't work. Or you can jump and then grab that block up there. You can't just climb up a sheer cliff or anything like that. As you can see, these have been planted. These will take 203 days to mature. because the months are very long, and I also set tree growth to be extremely slow because, to be fair, trees should take years or decades to grow. So the fact that we can grow them in a few months is already, I feel, a little bit overpowered. The default vanilla settings are blooming cabbage here. There is an issue with see, it says unknown crop at the top. There's an issue with the art of growing crops where I don't think it recognizes the art of growing variants of the vegetables. So all of the crops, all of the wild crops will just say unknown crop. I think we have to make the vanilla versions, which you can do with like a knife and a crafting grid with the wild version or whatever. We don't have a lot of crops right now. I've been foraging for mushrooms and berries for pretty much everything. Oh, that's another thing that I changed, also using Herbarium. I enabled the calendar-based berry bush system. So in vanilla, berry bushes regrow like every 15 days, which is stupid. It's just stupid. It's dumb. It's a bad system. It's ridiculous. Makes absolutely no sense. We got over here. We got someone creeping around. So this config option, I think that's Rufty. Hello there. We'll give you a wave. Nice to see you. I'm gonna do a tour. If you want to come along, you're welcome to come along. I know there's probably a little delay in the stream, but when you hear this, if you want to come along, you're welcome to. If you've got stuff to do, go ahead, and we'll come visit you in a bit. But yeah, basically the setting that I turned on, it makes it so the berry bushes take months to grow, sort of like fruit trees, which I think is fair. They're a really, really overpowered food source if they just regrow every couple of weeks, especially when the months are 60 days long. You get so many berry harvests. It's ridiculous. One of the first things I did once the server went online and I came on was to make this little compass rose so everyone knows which way is north. On a few potted plants. That's right, you had to travel, you had to unexpectedly travel, right? Well, the server's not going anywhere. You'll have all the time in the world to get all that stuff sorted out. We've actually made a lot of progress. How long has the server been up? Like a month? Maybe 2? I have no sense of time. It hasn't been that long. At spawn here is stuff that I think people are more or less sharing. It's a lot of flint tools on the wall. Oh, we have flint chisels, which is a primitive chisel. These chisels can only be used for chiseling blocks. They can't be used in recipes, so it's not unbalanced. You still need metal chisels to use for making things in recipes. But inside we've got our little starter shack, which is still pretty much as it was when I threw it together at the very beginning. Somebody's made some hearty raw poultry stew. I feel like it shouldn't say raw poultry anymore. I feel like it should probably just say poultry. I don't know who... I made some custom recipes for this server, food recipes. One of them is just a crafting recipe where we can make fruit leather, where you lose most of the saturation for the fruit, but it preserves the fruit. Because we don't have expanded foods and culinary artillery in here, because first of all, they're not properly updated for this version, and second of all, they add so much. They kind of add too much. They're kind of too big. And as much as I love my muffins, I thought let's try something else. So we've got some other food mods on here, like smaller ones, and I also modded in the fruit leather is just an item, a food item, which lasts for a really long time at the cost of most of the saturation from the fruit, because fruit doesn't last for very long usually. And there's one that adds broths, there's one that allows you to add different ingredients to things. But I also modded in fruit compote, which there was one in Art of Cooking, which I thought about adding, but Art of Cooking is really unfinished and kind of broken. So I was like, I'll just make my own compote recipe. I'll make it even simpler, and it'll just be something that we can have. And then I learned that modding food, like meals, into this game is an actual nightmare. I was not able to do what I wanted to do. The names are broken. At least I got it in the game. But oh my gosh, so ridiculous. Like how to get the food names to appear correctly, how to get the textures to appear correctly is nuts. So, trees taking longer to grow, amount of planks and firewood from one block is too low. Well, but I mean, we have infinity trees. So, enjoying some partially spoiled compote. Enjoy it. Like you don't have to cut down the trees around you. You can, put on your storage, empty your storage, grab a... We do have carry-on, of course, so you can put a basket on your back, fill it up with logs, and carry them home. So you don't have to deforest your home. And we do already, actually it didn't take very long at all to get the first log splitter. So if you need a lot of firewood, then you can come to spawn and use this. Don't know if we actually have, I think you have to use an adze. Oh, here you go, one of these. This is called Splitting Maul. You use that on it, and it's way faster than, I think it'll be neat with base game, yeah. Oh my gosh. I have the mod that lets you walk up one block, because I think it's very silly that every video game in the world expects you to be constantly jumping. Imagine in real life, you come up to a step which is kind of high, and instead of stepping up it, you just like jumped into the air. So much harder, kind of ridiculous. No reason why we can't just walk up. The only problem is sometimes it misidentifies where I'm trying to go and makes me walk up stuff. But we got tons of ore now. I found, I didn't find out. Basalt Bones found some iron, and I did bring some back with some iron bits here. I think the rest of it might be at my base at the moment. I found halite very early on. Hugely lucky find. It was literally just like in a cave when I dug my head in, so I went and mined up a whole bunch of that. We get plenty of salt. I found plenty of sulfur. Because there's no monsters, there's very little danger in exploring underground in caves. Although we do have some other things like Firestarters mod, which has some broken settings on it, but it's the main reason I got it is if you take a torch and you put it in your bag, it will go out. You cannot put a lit torch in your backpack or in a container, and I thought that was reasonable. But aside from that and temporal stability, which is on, we don't have storms, but we do have the stability. There's not much danger in going in caves now, so it's you know, fun to go and explore the caves and find. I also cranked up, for all the things that I did to make the game harder, I also cranked up the generation of ruins so that there's a lot more ruins in the world, because I just think that's fun. I like finding the ruins, I like breaking them down for materials. So I like the step up mod as an option, don't use it in games. Tiring to play if you don't have the ADHD tippy-tappy. Oh my goodness. Well, for me, it's a wrist thing, right? To be constantly pressing the spacebar, and also if I'm streaming or recording, constantly pressing the spacebar is very unpleasant on the viewer and listener's ears. So I definitely need it. Also, I think it's Dana Tweaks that adds this. There is auto walk. Press a button, walk forward. You can even run with it. I've been using that so much, and it has spared my wrists so much strain. That, along with my left and right mouse button toggles, which are a script that I found online to cause the toggles, have made it possible for me to actually play this game a lot. If anyone is new, hi, welcome. I have pretty severe chronic joint issues, especially chronic wrist issues. So playing this game all the time is actually kind of impossible unless I'm able to toggle, because holding down mouse buttons or buttons on the keyboard is one of the main triggers for my particular issues. It's not carpal tunnel, it's tendonitis. So I didn't build this one. I believe it was Yar and or Papa who built this little storage shack. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. We got a whole bunch of wine, honey, all kinds of good stuff in here. We got some tannin. I haven't been spending much time at spawn here. There's a little path here. Oh, we also have the Pack Your Shovel mod, which adds modes to the shovel where you can pack the dirt, make paths, which uses stones on your hotbar. If you have, you can't do that without stones on your hotbar, or ramming and you make rammed earth. And then this is from, hydrate or dihydrate, which is actually a little bit broken. I need to actually talk to the developer. I think that it doesn't work well when you change the lengths of days. Our days are 2 hours long. Auto panning. I think auto panning is from, I don't know which mod added that. But yeah, there's a lot of, we have a lot of accessibility features on here because we've got a lot of people who need them, and I don't see any reason to ban or make it impossible for anyone to play, especially since I'm one of them, and I own the server, dang it. So, but yeah, we can dig wells. There's a bug with the Pack Your Shovel mod. I don't know if everyone's figured this out yet, but apparently there's a bug where these settings are not set to the player or to the tool, they are set to the game. So if I change the tool mode, it will also change it for everyone else. So if you ever started using a shovel and were surprised to find it doing the wrong thing, it's probably because someone else was using a shovel to like make paths or something. So something to be aware of if there's multiple people on at the same time. Just check in with each other about what people are using shovels for anything. Somebody set up a bit of a garden here. does need some watering. But, yes. We can follow the paths. Why don't we go to Sparrow's base now? Sparrow made this absolutely beautiful path through the forest to the north. We have an agriculture trader here, by the way, who we can sometimes get seeds and clippings from. So it is packed dirt rather than the path blocks, which give you a speed boost. So it doesn't give you a speed boost, but it's just a way to find yourself through find your way through the forest. Oh, and we have these what is it, Wilderlands way markers. These cairns are also super useful. They just take stones to build. So we have different options for not getting lost in the woods, or not getting lost in the world, basically. People who don't have a good sense of direction. We do also already have... I am taking resin whenever I see it, because I'm using it to seal crocs and stuff. We have plenty of people who don't have the best sense of direction. And I don't have a good sense of direction in the real world, because my brain, having spent most of my life in video games, thinks everything is on a grid. So if I am in a world that is on a grid, I have an excellent sense of direction. I basically never get turned around or lost. In the real world, I'm constantly getting turned around because I keep... whenever I'm on a road that's, turning, my brain still thinks, well, I'm on the same road, so I must be going in a straight line. And then I get totally turned around. Meanwhile, we have some folks in the server who have said that they have no trouble staying oriented in the real world, but are constantly getting lost in the game. So I have been on this server, I think I've only been on one rescue mission, and that wasn't for someone getting lost. Have I actually had to come after anyone who got lost on this server yet? Oh, I did, Sparrow, you did get lost once, right? And I tried to come and get you, but I actually didn't find you, and you wound up finding your way back by coincidence, which is fortunate. I think it was a couple of days ago, Basalt Bones wound up in a cave, falling into water, and dousing their torch. And just kind of being in the darkness like, I got no light source and I can't get out of this cave. So I had to go and find the cave. This is Sparrow's. Look at this beautiful. I'm gonna just go stand up on there so you can see. I love your building style, Sparrow. Oh, by the way, I put down a whole bunch more skeps so that I can steal some bees to make... You did get lost, Sparrow. I think you did ultimately find your way back, though. I don't think I even encountered you. I was trying to help you get oriented. I think the only thing I really meaningfully did was I was able to tell you which way the wind was blowing. That's another thing we added. Can't remember the name of the mod, but it frequently changes the direction of the wind. In the vanilla game, the wind always blows from west, which is this way, to east, which is this way. As you can see, the wind is currently blowing sort of southeast a little bit. And it changes every few minutes. So you can't use that to orient yourself. So, aha! Yes, the ones that I put down have populated. So I will take those, not right now, but at some point I'll grab those and go start my own bees. Pretty good sense of direction. Only lasts as long as it keeps it focused. That's fair. That is fair. Well, I tried to add as many tools as I could to help people stay oriented, like the way markers. You can always use, we have some chalk stones somewhere. You can always use chalk or something to leave marks as you go. You can make a path using your shovel without having to craft dirt blocks. But yeah, Sparrow has this very beautiful, let me grab this, because we are going to need it, I'm sure. Although it is raining at least, so some of them should be watered. Oh, that's another... I'll keep thinking of ways that I've made this harder as we go through. Another setting, and this is a vanilla setting that I toggle. These are good, but these against the house are under a little roof block. They're not getting watered by the rain. But yeah, we can't move water sources is another one that I've inflicted on everyone. So even if you have a bucket, you cannot move a water source. But we do have... These should all be at 100, right? Yeah. Well, that was easy. We do have these aqueducts added by another mod. Oh, Sparrow, now that I think of it, I left you a gift. I made you some of that slow-burning wood that I modded in. That's another thing I modded in. So, because there's no monsters, getting temporal gears is actually pretty difficult, right? because usually the main way you get them is by killing monsters. So I was very proud of this. I modded in a way to make temporal gears, and I'm also using it for some other stuff now. And it's bothering me that camera is very uncentered. Hold on a second. Keep glancing over and being like, why do I look like I'm leaning? I'm not leaning. It's just that the screen is at an angle. How's that? A little bit better? So I modded in. So proud of this, you guys. I am not a programmer. I cannot code. So any mods that I do, either if there's something that requires code, I have to beg, usually Spud, Super the Underdog, to do it, or some other programmer, or I have to do stuff that's JSON and only JSON. I can create models, I can create textures, and I can use the JSON to do all. It's actually really impressive how much you can do with just editing JSON files in this game. And one of the things that I was able to do, and big thanks to the creator of the Mycodiversity mod, because they modded in mushrooms, and without looking at how that mod did it, I wouldn't have been able to figure out how to mod in mushrooms. So I followed the kind of how they did it. I modded in my own mushroom, which is called the Unstable Fungus. I don't know if we'll find any or not. And then I created a process by which you have to camera set up a way that works. Yeah, oh, I'm always leaning somewhere or other, but it looks like I'm leaning right now, I think, but I'm not. I'm actually looking straight on. It's just that I have two monitors, and so the monitor is at a slight angle, and so it makes me look like I'm at an angle. So, yeah, just a simple little HUD here. Oh, and real smoke. That's another mod we had. So you have to vent your smoke, otherwise you will get asphyxiated. But you have to soak the mushrooms once you find them. Then you have to soak for a week. Then you have to take the soaked mushrooms and you have to grind them into goo. And then you have to soak the goo in salt water, specifically, which we do have handy nearby. And that makes unstable slop. And then you can soak stuff in the unstable slop. And the main thing I made them for is you can soak a rusty gear in 20 unstable slop. And that will give you a temporal... Well, it'll give you a gear that then cures into a temporal gear. So essentially, it's just a very time-consuming process. So it takes time to find the mushrooms, although they're not rare. It is still, you have to go hunting for the mushrooms. Then you have to soak them for a week. And keeping in mind, a day is 2 hours on the server, so that's 14 days times 2 hours, 280 hours, which is over a day. Oh, you have food in here? I haven't even been looking in your vessels. I actually have plenty of food right now. You've got a lot of seeds. Goodness. Oh yeah, you got some rot in here. I think anything you still have is probably gonna... Yeah, it's gonna last for a while anyway. The jujubes aren't. You know what? I'll take these so they don't go to waste. Although, you know what? 11 days... When are you gonna be able to get back on Sparrow? 11 days is actually quite a while. But yeah, so there's a week of soaking, and then you have to grind them, and then there's another, I think, 24 hours of soaking, and then there's another 24 hours of soaking, and then the gear that you make that becomes a temporal gear takes 3 days. So the idea behind this was, first of all, I freaking love mushrooms, and I wanted to use mushrooms in some way. And also that you're sort of using time, you're investing time to make something temporal, right? So the temporal gear, you're infusing it with time, with all of this soaking and using this strange properties of this mushroom or whatever. And then Sparrow here was asking about, hey Mama Jama, welcome! I feel like I'm losing my voice already, goodness. 1st or 2nd of November, okay. It's actually not that far away. I got a message from my boss today reminding me that I need to send in my invoice by the end of the month. I was like, what? 26th? That seems unfair. I don't like that at all. Yeah, Sparrow was saying that she loves having a fireplace, just like having a fire going, and it would be nice if we had like firewood that could just burn for a really long time just to like have a fire going in the background, which I agree would be really nice. And then I thought I can do that very easily, and so I made this block here, which again, the way the game is made with the JSON, most things can be done with JSON. I didn't have to do any coding or anything. These have their own texture, which is slightly different from firewood, which we don't have anything, I don't think, nearby that I can show you to compare, but it's a slightly different color. All I had to do was make the texture and a JSON file, and that was it. And basically, you just soak a stack of firewood in 1 liter of that temporal slop for I don't remember how long, but I bet I can find out. 24 hours. And then you get this stuff, which only burns at 50 degrees. So it's a very cool fire, right? It's a positively unrealistic, impossible level almost, but it's fine. But it burns for 6 minutes, 1 piece. So if you have a stack of 32, it'll burn for some number of hours. Someone who's better with numbers than me can tell you exactly how many. So yeah. Oh, and here's some ripe berry bushes now, so you can see. Usually the berries are only ripe for a few days. These are ripe for 130 days. But then once we pick them, oh, the wind's changing. There's the only kind of downside with that wind direction mod is everything gets kind of glitchy for a second while it's changing. Now the wind is blowing northeast. Yeah, so these berries will stay here for ages. So usually in the game, I think for most of us, you see berries, you harvest them, and you just eat them. But since berries give so little saturation, and we require so much saturation to survive, just munching on berries isn't going to do all that much for you, actually. And the berries will rot pretty quickly. So with the way things are set up now, you can just leave the berries on the bushes for months until you actually need them for something. And I think it's much more balanced that way. All right, 3+ hours, thank you. Thank you very much. Haven't built your fireplace yet. Yeah, oh, that's right, the crops thing. Don't worry, we'll get you sorted out. If you need help once you're back in online, sorting out like how to make the room work and stuff, just let me know. I think I have a pretty good understanding of it at this point. Oh, I am losing my voice. Come on, man. I'm gonna do my best. As usual, my allergies are permanently out of control. I think right now it's mainly dust, because weather's cooled down quite a bit. So we've got the windows closed and all the dust is... I clean as much as I can, but it's hard. Alright, so when we first started, I built my base over that way. And I'll just walk over there. Using my auto walk feature. It is a very cute little cottage. This is Sparrow's cottage. And it's wonderful. I love it. Absolutely love it. So I found a ruin around this way. We're heading west now, in case anyone is interested in staying oriented who's not on the server. You can also see in the distance there's a lot of different ruins, because I just really cranked up the ruin generation because I like it that way. I made so many things harder so that it makes me feel a lot less guilty when I make something easier. Like I'm not unbalancing the game, because the game is already balanced to be pretty difficult. Oh, my nose is itchy, you guys. But I will endure. So this right over here, this was a ruin that I found early on, and I fixed it up. And, oh, hello. Could you maybe go away, please? This is another thing I coded in. You get close to a bear or a wolf, not only will they not attack, they will slowly move away from you. The reason I did that is because I was having a problem frequently on the previous server, which was very similar to this one. We had a little challenge server that I did a couple streams from. I would be chopping down a tree, and a bear or a wolf would literally run into my axe and then kill me. So to try to prevent that from happening, unless they are aggroed, if they are aggroed, they will still attack you. They won't run away. I built another of this exact same thing because I like the way it looks for the pit kilns. So yeah, as long as they're not aggroed, they will just turn and kind of move away from you if you get too close, just to prevent that from happening. So I've put a sign on here. It says, I have moved to a secret cottage in the forest. Feel free to use this building. And yeah, I basically just took the ruin that was here and I just rebuilt it. And there's a little fireplace over here. There's a little pantry here that I had some food in. And I moved out. And I moved to a secret cottage in the forest. Which, at this point, I would like to ask, is anyone watching this or anyone online? Go after the bear to get... I have actually thought that I'd like to make some bearskin rugs. But I need to... There's not a lot of bears around. Because I have so drastically reduced the spawns of animals. So I actually haven't seen a bear in a while. And I keep finding corpses in the forest, though, so I knew there was still one around somewhere. But there's a little path over here, which leads back to spawn, and it's not nearly as nice as Sparrow's path. I'm gonna just walk along this path and head back to spawn. If there's anyone online, I think the only people we have online are Rufty and Bones, right? I am curious whether anyone has found my secret Oh, by the way, I've been buying seeds from the gardener and planting grapevines and stuff like that in the forest and random places, just so we have like a little food forest, which I think is fun. Has anyone found my secret base? Is the question that I keep starting to ask and just can't seem to manage to spit out. Because I'm actually quite proud of how well I've hidden it. I've also planted a whole bunch of trees. And I will plant more. I'm really proud of how well I hid my base in the forest. It is, once you know where it is, you can see it. Bones has not discovered it yet. It doesn't surprise me. You don't really come over in this direction very often, I think. So, actually, I'm not sure. Maybe Yar could have discovered it, because I do think Yar was going back in this direction a few times. I really gotta make this path a little bit nicer. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I sort of hesitated a little bit. 138 days, okay. Some of the I didn't have that berry bush setting set when we first started the server, and then I realized after like several weeks that I had forgotten to turn it on. So there are some bushes. Rusty hasn't found it either. Okay, not surprised again. I don't think you've come through this forest very much either, have you? So you wouldn't have any opportunity to find it. Yeah, sometimes you will find berry bushes that the berries appeared before I made the change, and those will spoil really fast. So I always check the bushes if I walk by to see like, to see if they're gonna be like disappearing in a few days, and I grab them. I am actually gonna grab some. You know what? I don't know who made this chicken stew here. I'm gonna eat this half serving. I hope nobody minds. I'll leave the other one there, and I'm gonna go down into the cellar here. I'll cook up something as well. Start looking right now. Right, so yeah, I hesitated to stream now because I was kind of wanting to invite people to see if they could, how quickly. I'm sure somebody will find it. It's not that hidden. But I was curious whether people could find it without, and once I show it on the stream, like that's it, right? We got the blood barrel. Fresh for 22.2 days, that's good for a while. Oh, somebody made some cured healthy prime meat, very nice. There's some raw bushmeat fresh for 1 day. I'll take 2 of those. Grab a mushroom of some sort. I have identified a lot of mushrooms, by the way, including a lot of poisonous ones. You can make a book. Shiitake mushroom. And is there any fruit? There is still some fruit, okay. This is the fruit leather I made, by the way. Very proud of this. You have to bake raw fruit leather. I am curious. There's another guessing game. This can be anyone. You don't have to be online to participate in this game. Can you guess what? I did not make new textures. I made a new model for the fruit leather, and I also... This is super fun. I made a model for stacking it, so you can stack it up. I made that from scratch. It's surprisingly easy to do. I was so excited about that. I'm not going to use that because you can see it'll last for 2.4 years. I don't need to take that. Can anyone guess what textures, vanilla textures, I used to make the raw fruit leather and the dried fruit leather? Get in your guesses. Mama Jama's guessing Pete. Do we have any other guesses? It's okay. Wait. Oh, bunchberry. I thought it said baneberry for a second. Those are poisonous. Lava? Not lava. No. It's a fun part of modding stuff into this game for me. Once I realized, oh, you can't use the bushmeat. Dang it. You know what I could do? I keep meaning to bring some peat over here, actually. Get this cooking up. We can actually use this to make broth. And then we can make some vegetable stew with that broth. Can't put fruit in vegetable stew though, so we'll put this. Again, sometimes the step up just doesn't work quite as well as you would like. So I'm gonna get 2 servings of broth from that. Put some shiitakes. How about shiitake and bearded tooth? Although I don't think the texture will show up. Wait. Why do I have a cooking pot in my hands? Oh, right, because... Wow. The ADHD is strong with this one. I'm gonna take 2 of these. We don't have... I keep meaning to add a well over here, by the way. We can build wells. You might have to dig pretty deep to get them. So we got, the guess is peat, sand, the stuff you get after pressing fruit. Okay. I will reveal the answer in a moment, but if I don't finish this task, I'm gonna get distracted. And it's never gonna get done. You all know me by now, right? Probably. Well, some people watching this maybe don't know me. Hi, I have ADHD. Very, very much. And, my meds have worn off because it is the evening. I think it's just like this. Yes, that'll make a meat broth. So there's a log in there. Alright. Gonna need that. Alright, after I've finished cooking this, if I forget, remind me. I will reveal all. I think it's actually very funny. The textures that looked right. Because I tried so many different ones, because I was like, I don't want to make a new texture, add more files that people need to download. I can just use something that's in the game already. And it turns out, yep, but not the texture that you would expect. ADHD Trendson is moving out today. My goodness. Aw. Hi to your son, from me. From all of us, I think. Oh, here we go. Good luck to him. I'm sure he's got support if he needs it, so I'm sure he'll do great out in the world. The old scary world. Kiddo Jama, I like that. I don't know if he would like it. But I think it's cute. Here we go, we got shiitake in meat broth soup with boiled bearded tooth. The things you have to do to get these things to show up in the game are so absurd that it is... it's speechless. I'm just speechless. Kit Paleo. I do remember that name, yes. And moving out for the first time is always very scary, even if you have all the support in the world. Here we go. Soup. Taki in meat broth soup with boiled bearded tooth. That'll give us both hydration and nutrition. And you can see just how much you have to eat to fill up that bar. Alright, but I'm good for now. So. Drum roll, please. Oh, here's the recipe, by the way. 6 berries of any kind. So if you have really low saturation berries, you don't actually lose that much nutrition. High saturation berries or larger fruits, obviously you do. 2 boards and a hammer. I thought about doing it in other ways, but it turned out to be too complicated. This just felt fun and fair and balanced. It's kind of a powerful food if you have tons and tons and tons of berries, because then you can make huge stacks of this and then have tons of fruit saturation through the winter. But it only gives you 80 saturation per fruit leather, and that's 8 berries each. So this texture, the raw fruit leather, is it is the oh, I have the developer mode on, don't I? So you can see all I should probably turn that off. Hold on. Can I? There we go. We'll turn that off for now. I always forget that I have that on because I do so much testing with the stuff that I'm on. There we go. This is a pie texture, and it is the mixed berries pie texture. So this is actually a fruit texture. It's a little bit rough, but I think that works if it's just a bunch of different fruits mashed together. This one is very funny. This is also a pie texture. The pie textures just turned out to be the best ones for this because they're the right size and shape and everything. This is the meat pie texture. So our fruit leather has the texture of, I don't know if I can actually get it to show up. If we can get the, I think it's specifically red meat pie. We can get one with an open top on the kind of rotating. Come on. Maybe it won't show the open topped ones. Yeah, I guess not. But In any case, it's if you make a red meat pie without and don't put a top on it, it's the same texture. Meat pie specifically. All right, let's Rufty, do you have a base or are you just hanging around spawn? I don't want to skip over you. By the way, I found some bismuth yesterday while I was playing. I got myself a bismuth lantern, which is my favorite texture of lantern because it's rainbows. Oh, also I have a tiara, and it makes me beautiful. So, I'm going to. I don't think I need this yet. I think it is going to start to get dark pretty soon. Yeah. How's the sound balance, by the way? I haven't asked yet. I'm hoping that people will let me know. I don't think we have a path yet to Bones' house. But I've got some iron tools now. Actually, that's thanks to Bones. You have a cave? I would actually like to see your cave at some point. You'll have to show me. Right now, I'm gonna go. It's so hard to resist the temptation to harvest every mushroom. Let me tell you. I am gonna keep my eyes out for the unstable fungus. We do have plans. I have plans to make a path from my base to Basalt Bones'. I'm assuming that you prefer the Bones part of your name if for people to shorten it, rather than the Basalt part, just because you seem to have Bones in your username on everything. By the way, but let me know. This goes to everyone. If I'm calling you something different than what you want to be called, just let me know. Of course. I'll be picking up all the sticks. Well, we have this is from one of the Wild. What's the name of it? The one that adds all the extra plants. The floral zones, that's it. Bones is always good, okay. Cool. Sometimes I default to basalt because that's the first word, but then I remember like, wait, actually, I've seen bones everywhere else. These alder plants are massively overpowered. You get so many sticks from them. But Bones' little cottage, which is also very nice. 164 days, okay, I'll leave it. Don't really care either way, okay. Good to know. Good to know. I will try to stick with Bones because that is the name that I see everywhere. Like Star Trek. Here we go. Beautiful mountain. Oh, by the way, another thing that I have modified, and this is just me, and I will say it's part of our server tweaks mod, which is a whole bunch of complicated stuff. It's integrated with other mods, so you can't really use it except for on this server or if you have all the same mods as the server. One of the things I did when I was tweaking files is I went in, because I had found a world seed that I really liked in 1.20, and I was thinking they'll probably adjust it a little bit in 1.21, but I expected it to be more or less the same, and maybe I'll just use that seed for our server. And then I loaded up that seed in this version, and it was very different. Like they completely change every version of Vintage Story. They completely overhaul World Gen, and I don't really know why they do it because most of the time it's not making it better. It's just making it different. Oh, you're not here. Okay, take your time. I'm rambling about something else. And one of the things that they had done when I went and poked around in the JSONs, as I have become very comfortable doing, I discovered that there are certain landforms that I am very vocal about hating. I have ranted on and on and on and on about hating. Oh no, the server restart. You know what? I'm gonna quickly run and disable that. So the server's not gonna restart this time. Someone please, for goodness sake, remind me to turn this back on after, because it does need to happen regularly. I forgot to check, because normally it's at 10 p.m., but we just changed the clocks. And the servers are not changing for daylight savings time. So restart. We're going to pause, restart. Okay, so the server's not going to restart in 5 minutes, but I do need to revert that after the stream. Please remind me. Okay, Sparrow. It wouldn't happen because the server would crash pretty quickly. I actually had to increase the frequency with which the restarts happen because even though I'm giving it so much RAM, it still runs out of RAM because of all of our mods. Have you ever done a tutorial on JSON? I have not. I have pretty much just poked at the files. I am not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I am not a programmer. I've tried many times to become a programmer and have failed repeatedly. Apparently, having dyscalculia makes that almost impossible. But JSON is mostly kind of in plain English, and it's very easy to work out what everything does, and then you just kind of change one number and see what happens, and change one word and see what happens, and it's actually really really easy for someone who has no coding knowledge to still be able to like get in there and tweak stuff. And so, yeah, I went in and I poked around and I looked at, they have comments in the landforms JSON. There's just one JSON file with all of the landforms that are pre-programmed with like the types of landforms, like the types of terrain that each landform will have. It's nothing to do with like forests or grass or desert or anything like that. Just like the shapes of the terrain, like the shape of this big mountain or the shape of this kind of like gentle sort of sloping hills and stuff like that. And they have this terrain. I think they call it puzzle terrain or something like that. And they have comments on each of the one. First of all, each of the terrain types is given a name that makes sense in English, like big mountain or something. And then there's a comment that explains what that terrain actually looks like in the game. So thanks to the developers for commenting everything and making it as clear as possible. But they have this terrain that is just like steep slopes and like valleys, and it's very difficult to get around inside. And in the previous version of the game, it was already more common than I would like, because it's just a misery to navigate. You don't want to build a base there, and it just sucks. Like, it's just an obstacle, right? And in 1.21, they had cranked the frequency of that way up. And I was like, why would you do this to me, personally, specifically? Why did you all have a meeting and say, do you know what that guy hates? This terrain right here. Let's make it as common as possible. So I went in and I spent, I think, a couple of days of all my free time just going in and tweaking landforms and then generating new worlds and seeing what they look like. And basically what I did, I didn't add or change any of the landforms that are in there. Most of the landform overhaul mods that you find on the mod depot, whatever it's called, most of them, like, they have programmed in their own, it's math. There's all kinds of numbers. I don't understand it. But what I did was I just went in and I tweaked the frequency. So I took all of the flatter types of terrain, like the wide open plains, the gentle rolling hills, you know, the types of terrain that most of the world is usually composed of, at least in my experience. And I made those way more common. And then I took the miserable obstacle terrain, like the puzzle terrain and the cliffs and stuff, and I made that way less frequent. I didn't remove it, but I made it way less frequent. And then the big mountains, I think I gave them a slight bump up. So most of the world now is just sort of flatter, gentler terrain, and it's only occasionally that we should come across the really steep hills or jagged cliffs and stuff like that. So I'm really happy with the way it came out. The thing is, I kept tweaking it, and then if I made a tweak and I was like, oh, I liked it better before, I'd be like, oh crap, I don't remember what it was set before. I wasn't like keeping notes of every single change that I made. So I just kept messing with it until I was happy with it. Hello, butterfly. And that's what we got on here. If anyone wanted me to put out a separate terrain mod with the terrain that we have on this server, I could very easily do that. I don't know if anyone actually wants that, or if people are satisfied with the terrain mods that already exist or what, but... Yes, Bones, you got plenty enough time to race back. You were navigating a puzzle rock landform. Where is Bones, actually? I'm slowly creeping towards here. The unstable fungus thing, I think I will make its own mod at some point. I'm gonna kind of use this server to test it. Halfway there. Oh my gosh, you were ways away. Were you mining iron again? It's a little ways away. Yeah, the unstable fungus and the unstable slop and the temporal crafting stuff I will probably release as its own mod once I feel like I've added enough to it to make it interesting enough. I do have other things that I want to add to it. I want to add, you know, like all the aged wood, the aged blocks that usually you can only find in ruins. We used to use a mod that added recipes for that using vinegar, but I think there's still not any way to make vinegar in the vanilla game. So I was thinking I could use, it's a lot of recipes basically. It's not difficult. It's just I have to sit down and spend a few hours making up all the different recipes and then loading it up and then figuring out where I forgot commas or whatever. You always forget a comma somewhere. It's inevitable. It's necessary. It's part of the process. And then the whole mod breaks. You gotta go figure out where the comma's missing. They tell you it's okay. There's like an error message that tells you exactly where. Been off VS due to work. Yeah, I feel you. Gotta start some fires. Oh yes, that's another thing we've added. Pyrogenesis. Poor boys. Pyrogenesis makes it so that if a block that is completely grassy, it doesn't work unless it's completely grassy. It says grassy up there in parentheses. If it says anything else, it won't work. But if a fire goes over a grassy block, there is a chance that it will convert into a higher tier of soil. I have actually done this a bit already. I converted some medium soil into high fert soil. It takes a little bit of time, and also you have to be very careful because fire spread. Fire can consume a lot of things very quickly if you're not careful. Um, Actually, I don't know if I told you all this, but uh, the inspiration for the previous server, that challenge server that I did, and then this server, which is very very similar with some differences, is I was making a world just for myself. I was like, I need a single player world that I can just play in and build in and just make like a long term cozy world, like where I can go and just relax when I don't have any brain power left and I'm exhausted and so I got together a collection of mods, which is pretty close to what we have on the server now. Look at that beautiful sunset. Look at that beautiful sunset. Oh my goodness. Um, so I started up the world. Pyrogenesis was one of the mods, and also it was the same kind of thing that I was doing with this, where I didn't want any monsters, I didn't want to fight, I didn't want anything killing me, but I wanted a challenge. So I was trying to mess with food and other survival mechanics to add in challenge. And one of the first things I did was, again, another vanilla setting. Lightning strikes can cause fires, and that is on this server as well. So if it's not raining and lightning strikes somewhere, you could get a wildfire. So be careful. Um, and I made uh, my world, and I set out into it. And the first day, gathering up my first basics and trying to set up a little shelter and stuff. Um, and then the night fell, and it turned out I was in an area that tended to have lightning storms with no rain. So it was dark. It gets very dark at night in this game, as anyone who's played it already knows. Yes, this is such a lovely, lovely little area, isn't it? Um, and I was, I think I was clay forming, one of some of the things that you do in the first nights in a new world. And then I heard like lightning striking. I was like, oh my gosh, scared the crap out of me. Lightning strike right near me. And then I looked up and there's fire next to me. I was like, put out the fire, put out the fire. I put it out pretty quickly. It wasn't that much. Um, and then I returned to what I was doing. And then I kept hearing lightning all around. And then you know how, some of you definitely know how, you can get hyper focused on a task like clay forming in a game like this. And you don't realize how much time has gone by. It is pitch black, middle of the night. I finish my clay forming and I look up for the first time, right? Um, and all around me, not close, like 50 blocks away, in like four different directions, there are massive fires. I wasn't in a forest. I was in kind of an open area, but there was forest nearby. All the forest was on fire. Everything was burning, and I was like, "Oh, holy crap!" Like that. Okay, they're not messing around with that. I'm sure it'll burn itself out by morning. Turns out, by morning, it had not burned itself out, and in fact, it was approaching me, and I had to build a wall of packed dirt around my stuff to keep it from burning. And then I spent probably an hour, hour and a half running around the edge of this massive wildfire, putting it all out. And then I looked out over this devastation. All the trees are gone, all the plants are gone. There's animal corpses all over the place, which I obviously grabbed for the free meat. And because a lot of the grass had burned off, I had completely forgotten about the pyrogenesis mod that I did install in my world. And I started stumbling across just random bits of high fertility soil still exposed from the fire. And I just had this moment of like, this is awesome. I haven't had an experience like this where like I'm really still trying to learn the ropes and get oriented in so long. Like when I first started playing Vintage Story, there was a bit of a learning curve, but the game was much less developed and there wasn't that much to learn yet. There was just like a tutorial in the wiki that I just followed and I kind of knew what to do. So I never really had the experience that people who pick up the game now have, where they're trying to get oriented in a much more complicated world with all these mechanics and stuff. Um, and I felt that I was just like, this is, I have to show this to all of them. I took a bunch of screenshots of the fire and stuff. I was like, no, it's not good enough. I was like, screw it, I'm making a server. And that was the spark that started the fool around find out server. Hey, Bones is here. Hello. Let's look at your house. Yay. Ready? You probably got a delay because of the stream, right? I'm gonna go over to your house. You made it home in one piece. Congrats. Well done. So I love this. You've got like storage just kind of here and there. You've got your stuff around. Some fish in the pond. You got your wood chopping area. I love your little hut. It's very small inside, but you got your little fire pit, right? You got your firewood. You got your bed. Storage everywhere. Oh, I love it. And then you got pit kilns over here, which apparently there is a bug with that fire starters mod. It is very cozy. I love it. Like, genuinely. When I first saw this, I was like, dewberry bush. Owie! I stepped on a prickly bush. Oh, by the way, your armor stand scares the crap out of me every single time I come over here. Every time I see it out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, ah! Oh, right. It's an armor stand. Perfectly safe. That's a lot of bones. Pig hanging out. Freaks you out too. Oh, and another pig. Have you been out hunting? When you've got your bloomeries over here. Very nice. All right, I think I'm gonna run down the path that you made through the hills over here before it gets completely dark. Ow! I realized as I was doing it that I was doing it. Walked right back into the same dang bush. I'm actually gonna jog here. The night will fall quickly. It'll last a while. Oh, little baby chick. Hello. Off to move the boy. Good luck. Thanks for stopping by. Gets you every day. I'm not surprised. I missed a turn. Here we go. Actually a little bit difficult to follow this one running. Windy trail. But there's the gardener trader is over here. I don't think there's any light sources in this direction just yet, so. Look like there's a light source right there. I guess it's probably just like the daylight, what's left of it. Ah, this way. This way, this way, ah! Many twists and turns. Alright, so Bones has got some pigs, and I think you've already bred them once, right? Oh yeah, generation 1. I still think you should probably put some higher walls or a roof over them so that a bear doesn't come eat them. I'm just gonna keep running because it's getting darker. People will be able to see. I suppose we could sleep. I don't have a bed on me, but I'm sure I could get to one and spawn pretty quickly. So this is the gardener. I made this little hut. Oh, there's something trapped in there. They need a nicer living. Oh, there's a little deer in there. Is that a white-tailed fawn? Get out of here, little baby deer. You need to go grow up so we can hunt you later. Off you go. Don't kill the baby. It's useless. So yeah, there's some vines and some bushes around. I'm quite proud of this little cottage. I like these orange bricks. They look really nice, I think. Different bushes. And then we have our gardener inside. You're getting a lot of critters in here, William. William sells all strawberry seeds. All these different things, and this stock rotates every few days, so you can come and get a few different things. And you can also sell berries. I think this was me, actually. I sold rose hips, dog rose hips, hazelnuts. Oh, come on, boys, you gotta stay with me. And then over here, Bones has also got a little farm. It's very intense music. Oh, Sparrow, I wanted to tell you, it is possible to fireproof your house without sacrificing how nice it is. Farming's a little TLC. Oh, you need some water in here. Do you know what stage to harvest them to get food versus seeds and all of that? Because if you don't, let me know and I can be of help. Yeah, this all needs some watering for sure. I appreciate that Bones has decided to be a farmer. I was the farmer last time around. I did all the farming pretty much. Not all the farming, I did a lot of farming. And I enjoyed it. This time around, I'm a forager. I am farming a few things. Sharp-eyed viewers may have spotted a melon seed planted in the forest. We ran by. Only soybeans come in so far. Yeah, well, they won't really grow unless they're watered. But the vegetables, they'll have a stage where you can harvest them for food, or you can let them go to seed. So if you let them grow to the final stage, you will not get food from them. The grains, you will get. You have to let them grow to the final stage. There is a guide to this. There's probably several guides to it. To knowing which stage to harvest different things at to get the maximum amount of food, but you do also want to let some of them go to seed, otherwise you can run out of seeds, you know? I do also recommend maybe building some aqueducts and bringing some water down here, because this is going to be a lot of work keeping this watered, even though it's supposed to rain most of the time here. Clearly it has not been raining lately. It is possible to fireproof. So obviously there's the standard, like, using stone for certain things, because stone won't burn. There's also a more dishonest way to make sure that even your wood won't burn. I'm gonna leave you to it, Bessel, and I'm gonna head back, just because I don't know how long my voice is gonna hold out. I'm not gonna describe that on stream. You might be able to guess from what I've said so far, and if not, you ask me when you're back online. I can try to help you out. I don't think your house is really at risk right now, because we're not getting a lot of rain and we're not getting lightning without rain. I think you'll probably be fine for now. But if you've built something really lovely and you're worried about lightning burning it down, there's a way to change what the game thinks the block is, basically, so that it's not flammable anymore. But let's not go spreading that around too much, because we like the danger, don't we? We like the risk. Rufty, I'm guessing you haven't found my my base, by the way. I don't know if you're actually looking for it or not. It is on the path that we walked back through the forest. You can't see the door, but you can see blocks that would indicate that there is a home there. If you are very sharp-eyed. I am going to show you guys, just because I'm very proud of what I built so far. I'm putting it off until kind of last. It's a bit of a hobbit hole. It has similarities to a hobbit hole. It's very unfinished. I have a couple of rooms finished. I have a sort of main room with storage. I have a kitchen, and I have a pantry. I'm not going to call it a cellar. It's a cellar, but it's above ground, so I'm calling it a pantry. I also have a small garden. Been watching the stream? Well, I'm not near it right now. If you've got a cave or something that you want to show off, by the way, meet me at spawn and we can go take a look at whatever it is that you've built. Or if you don't have anything you want to show off, I can slowly make my way back to I'm too proud of what I've built to not show it on the stream, because I don't know when I'm going to get the chance to stream again, even though it means everyone's going to see where it is and the secret's going to be ruined. Heck it. I'm going to show people eventually anyway. What I have learned about myself over the years and over the past couple of servers that I've been running is that I really enjoy putting a little secret into the game. Whether it means modding in something that people don't expect, or building something that people aren't going to notice right away, and then leaving it there and waiting to see how long it is before someone says something. Like on the previous server, I did just read box. Oh, do you mean the platform of reads? Yeah, on the previous server, I modded in. I was trying to see how difficult or easy it would be um, to create a model for something. Like, I wasn't sure how easy or hard it would be, like, to actually, like, not just mod in an item using a texture that already exists in a model that already exists in the game, which was what I was doing before, but to make my own model of my own brand new item. And it turns out it's really very easy. Surprisingly easy, not only to make a model, but to animate it. Cave is just, oh, your cave is full of reed boxes, I see. If you don't want to show it off, that's fine. Just want to make sure everyone has a chance to show off what they got. I believe Yar and Papa have basically been living here. All right, so I think, yeah. So I had the idea of making a secret base in the forest and seeing how long it would be before somebody found it. But the thing is, because of where it is, most people aren't going through this forest. Sparrow might find. Oh, hello, Rufty. I didn't even see you up there. Hello there. We both sit with our legs dangly. Looking out at all the smoke particles from real smoke. Which is quite a fun mod, actually. I was worried that it would cause lag, but it has not seemed to cause lag. And in fact, the last several updates have been about optimizing it even further so that it causes somehow even less lag. All right, I'll tell you what. So that I can at least retain a little bit of surprise. Rufty, would you be interested in going for a walk with me on the path and seeing if you can find my base? With the knowledge that it is along this path to the kind of... Come on, voice. Hang on just a little bit longer. To the kind of slate box that I showed before, which was my first base. It is on that path. It will be hard to see in the dark, I think. There's no like glowing lights on it. Yeah? You're up for it? All right. I will let you go ahead. So we go down this path and then turn left at the first stone cairn. I'm going to put my auto walk on. Save myself a little bit. The only problem with the auto walk is I do occasionally get distracted by something on monitor 2. Forget that I have auto walk on, turn back. Yeah, turn left here. Yep. This way. Correct. Turn back and I'm like walking into a wall or I've walked into a hole or something. So, by the way, Rufty, when we get to my base, if you would like, I have some spare copper lanterns and you'd be welcome to take one if you don't have a lantern yet. Yeah, take your time. I'll follow behind you. Somewhere along this path. Got spooky, mysterious music as well. Around. The entrance is not on the path, I should say, but it is visible from the path. So if you want to look a little bit from side to side here and there. I did plant this. This is not my base, though. This is so fun with the music. I hope you can all hear the music and also that the music's not too loud. You all know the rules, right? You tell me. Tell me if the sound balance is at all off. You hear the music is not too loud. Awesome. Thank you. This is kind of fun, actually. Bring it over here. Now that is the end of the path. Did not succeed in finding the base. This is my old one. And if anyone wants to use it for anything, help yourselves. Shall we go back and take take one more pass? Maybe look a little bit more to the sides. I am quite proud of how well I've hidden it, honestly. I'm having fun. I hope you all are too. That's a bluet? Bluet mushroom? I don't know if I'm pronouncing a lot of the mushroom names correctly. Keep my eyes open for the unstable fungus. If I could code, I would do so many more interesting things with the unstable fungus and stuff like that. Do you not have a light source at all, Rufty? Oh my goodness. Watch out for the spiky bushes. Are you starving to death or something? You better not be. There's berries around. Grab some. If you need food, I don't have any on me, but are you starving? Is that what's going? Hold on a second. there's some berries right here just to keep you going. Once we find my base, I've got more food. Okay, here. Don't eat those ones. Those are poison. Don't eat those ones. Eat these. Don't eat those. No. Spit them out. There you go. These ones. There you go. You're gonna die a lot faster if you eat those. There you go. Just get yourself off of starving. Once we find my base, I've got plenty of food. I'll give you some food. Your house is in the slice of forest have been foraging mushrooms. Possibly. Find my secret lair or you'll starve in the dark, says Sparrow. There you go. There's also plenty of food in the cellar at spawn. You don't have to find everything by yourself. We can share. No one's gonna be upset if you grab some fruit or some mushrooms or something. Oh! Rufty has done it! We're here! I'll show the roof here. Got the roof. This cop for some reason is not getting grassy. There's also this little hint right here. In the dark you can't really see it, but... Alright, I'm coming down. So I've got my... This, by the way, is thanks to, again, Dana Tweaks. You can use the shears to harvest leaf blocks and then use them, place them decoratively. I'm very proud of this. So come down to my little caddy hole. I'm also proud of this. I've been like chiseling some little details and stuff like that. Inside we've got my main room. Rufty. We've got several more of these. Please take this as a reward. We've got my kitchen and then my pantry over here. Let's cook you up. Let's cook you up some proper food. We've got lots of rowan berries. Those are poison. I'll make you some compote. How about that? Get you a proper meal. And you will see what happens when you don't spend, what is this? Actually, one will be enough, I think. Don't worry. We'll get you fed. And if this isn't enough, I've got plenty more as well. If you're ever in this area and you need some nutrition, feel free to stop in here. Let me made some very fancy elderflower wine. You can also have that if you like. 1 cup shouldn't make you unpleasantly drunk. It will take a little while to kick in though, so don't have more than 1 cup. I think this is even less than a liter. Yeah, 0.4 liters. This won't do very much. Give you a little bit of saturation. The elderflower wine is interesting to make. That's another wildcraft thing, because first you have to make sweetened water using other flowers, like currant flowers. I need some food too, actually, don't I? Let me do it here. And don't eat random berries in the forest. Now, this door right here just leads to a passage, which is not finished yet, but I've dug a well in there, and I'm gonna build some other stuff in that way. This is what I've been spending my time doing on the server. I'm very proud of it. I'm pretty sure that these will all count as rooms once it gets cold out, and they'll have the temperature bonus. I just steal some metal for you guys. Yeah, of course! Sparrow, of course! I've dug up most of the metal that's at spawn myself, and I leave it at spawn specifically so that, you know, anybody who needs it can grab it. I don't know if you have a bowl, Rufty. There you go. Come have some compote. There's 3 servings in there. I need to use up those berries anyway. Anything else that needs to get used up? Over here, on this hot, fresh off the oven. Help yourself, you can have all of that. You'll probably need more than all of that, actually. The only thing I don't have is grain. That's one thing that you can't easily forage in this game. Oh, I'm getting a little tipsy. Look at that. I'm not moving my mouse. It's just a little bit tipsy. You don't eat random berries and mushrooms in the forest, you never learn what you can eat. Well, you have to shift and nibble them so that you only get a tiny bit. 18. Get another. I've been eating a lot of compote because all the berries that I've tried to like rescue. Okay. Oh, my mouth is moving a little bit. But while you are slightly tipsy like this, you will also get some bonuses to like movement speed and tool use and stuff, so it's actually worth it. And as long as you don't have too much, you won't get that super like drunk, crazy mouse movement like, you know. Didn't know compote was an option. Yeah, this is the thing that I modded in. I think this is, yeah. So with Super the Underdog's help, we did eventually manage to get it called Pot of Fruit Compote. But I can't get it to show the ingredients because doing so requires truly insane shenanigans. So, have you eaten enough, Rufty? If you need more, come have more. I'm cooking more as well. I've got fruit that needs to be used up anyway. Yeah, a lot of this is going to be going fairly soon. I got all these nuts, so I got plenty of protein. But the only grain that I have is either stuff that I found in ruins, and I've got like a few pieces here and there that I have found while out exploring and foraged. But I feel like I should plant these, or give them to someone else to plant, maybe. Let's see, we got straw in here. This is kind of a temporary storage setup. It looks nice enough, but everything's already pretty full. So, too busy watching the stream, didn't realize you're getting low. Aw, it happens. Well, now you're not low, right? I hope. This one will be done soon. Some food. But yeah, my plans for this server. I've got some unstable slop here. I pickled some cucumbers. Those will last for a while. Because we got so much salt, I can make brine very easily. We got elderflower wine and also some apricot wine. Turning most of the fruit either into compote, but compote doesn't actually last very long. It's not a preservation method, it's just a way of getting more nutrition out of the fruit. The myth of temporary storage setups. Listen. I'm turning a lot of it into fruit leather. I'm keeping a few seeds to plant for myself. And I'm eating a lot of mushrooms. I got some vegetables. Some of which I will plant. I do have a very small little Oh no, I did it again. There's one huge problem with the fruit compote, and that is that the wildcraft fruit and nut foods, their textures are broken. So they're just invisible. And since I just used the jam texture for this, that means it only takes the first ingredient and just shows that it's jam texture. All the wildcraft ones are broken. I couldn't figure out how to fix them myself. So now we've got invisible compote. So far I've been doing a good job. This whole room was full of storage containers, and I did sort them out, condense them, color code, and stuff like that. But yeah, my plan is to, like, instead of trying to build some big thing, I'm going to build small, cozy stuff, and then spend time decorating it, which is not something I'm great at, but I'm going to practice. And also just, like, decorating the forest and filling it with more food. So, like, planting fruit berries and nut trees and stuff like that around. I do also have a little hidden garden, which is not directly connected to this building, which I won't show on stream. Somebody can go and find that later. It's just a very small patch which is hidden from view. So I can grow a few things for myself, mostly so I can get grain. I would like to make a windmill at some point, but we don't really have much flax, and we don't have much farming going on. It is very easy to find a lot of mushrooms, especially with the mycodiversity. There's just so many mushrooms. Awesome secret base, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You now know where it is. Yeah, I chisel like a little entryway. And I will be doing more chiseling, and I'm going to make some beams and try to get the hang of using beams to decorate stuff as well. So when you're done and you're all full up, make sure you eat as much as you need to. I think there's still more in this bowl. It's just invisible. Yeah, there's still 3 servings left. You can just leave the bowl on the shelf. Oh yeah, and you can leave your cup on the shelf as well. I'll wash the dishes, no worry. You can just put them on the shelf. I'll take care of it. But yeah, if you're ever around here and you're hungry, feel free to stop in. Don't eat all of my food, but you know. You look around, you see a bunch of fruit that's gonna go bad, or you know, you can grab some fruit, make some compote, or you can always use mushrooms. I have slowed down in how much mushrooms I'm gathering as I explore, just because there's so many, they fill up my inventory. But there's tons of mushrooms. So the chthonic vessels have vegetables, the red ones have fruit, the black ones have protein and grain. Don't have much grain yet. These up here I think are empty for now. Yeah. And I made all of these crocks, and I put some compote in them and discovered that even in a sealed crock, they only last like 20 days. Which is not actually all that long. So, you know. That's my base. That's it. I would like to go and see. 2 in the morning. It's actually probably going to start getting light out. It actually gets light out pretty early here. I might go see if I can find some of the unstable shrooms, so you can all see them growing in the wild. They're not difficult to spot once you know what they look like. But yeah, I've planted a whole bunch of berry bushes and trees and stuff in this area. I'm probably going to put up some like trellises and stuff like that. I planted a watermelon on the lake over there. Hopefully I'll actually get some melons out of it. They grow like pumpkins, so they need like space for vines and stuff. I think if we go south of spawn, there's a lot of mushrooms growing in that forest too. So the unstable fungus is a ground mushroom, and I intended it to be a bit lighter than it is, but functionally in the game with the lighting and stuff, it turns out to look almost black, so it's actually pretty easy to spot on the ground. Fun fact, all the textures for the unstable fungus, the unstable goo, and the unstable slop, I think I called them, all of them are bismuth. They're different bismuth textures. I love all the little smoke particles. Hold on, there we go. That real smoke mod adds so much ambiance. It's wonderful. I shouldn't close this in case anyone wants to say anything in chat. Oh, hello Meep. Don't worry about it, I'm finishing up. I'll see if we can find an unstable fungus. If not, I'll just show it to you in the inventory, in the handbook. I am very much losing my voice at this point. My throat's starting to hurt, so we'll have to... What is this? Oh, ivy berries. Ivy berries are poison, don't eat those. I think all of the vine berries that grow naturally in this area are poisonous. Frequently see the unstable fungus over here, although if it's been harvested recently, then of course, there won't be any. Just like in real life, once you find a place where mushrooms spawn, you keep coming back, they will usually keep growing back. Although they won't grow year-round. Once the weather starts getting cold in like late autumn, the mushrooms will stop growing. And then during the winter, they will all die off. So mushrooms will not be a food source in the winter. Except for the ones that we have harvested, of course. Like there's shiitake mushrooms growing everywhere. I'm going to head down near, there's a coast. Body of water over here. I've never tried to cross this body of water. I have not actually traveled very far in this world. I think the furthest I've traveled... Here we go. There's some right there. Unstable fungus. That's what they look like. That's a bismuth texture, believe it or not. So I have been meticulously, whenever I see these, I harvest them and then I immediately get them soaking. And I have been making temporal gears. I've made a few already. Oh, that's right. That could be the last thing we do. I made the first teleportation rune beacon. So we don't have the mountain next to maybe it's overflowing with shiitake. Yeah, there's so much shiitake everywhere. It's crazy. But eventually there won't be. So harvest it when you see it and stockpile it, because it lasts for ages in a cellar. And in the winter, keeping in mind that we don't have that many animals around, and we can't do any farming in the winter, I have disabled underground farming because, you know, makes it a little too easy. You could try to use a greenhouse, but I do believe it's going to get pretty cold in this area in the winter, so we're probably not going to be able, even with a greenhouse, to do any farming. And we're not doing much farming right now. A few people have little farms. I've got a very small one. Go. But start stockpiling and preserving food now. I do also, there's also a ton of salt at spawn. I left that there for everyone to use, so if you need salt, go get salt. Don't hesitate. Oh no, Rufty, what happened? Did you get poisoned to death? These are poisonous, by the way. Don't eat the yellow Armaria. They're very cool looking, but they are not safe to eat. Come back out to the clearing here. Yeah, we don't have the teleportation mod that we've used in basically every other server, where teleporters spawn in like every 4,000 blocks. Mushrooms. Rufty, I told you, don't eat random stuff. I'm here to help. I know which ones are safe. But I did put in a fast travel mod, because I do think that this game, because it requires so much exploration and travel, it makes sense to have an option for fast travel. I just want it to be something balanced. Teleporters that we were using were not balanced. They were making it way too easy to get wherever you wanted. So I'm using this one. This is from the Teleportation Ruins mod. You make a beacon. It requires a temporal gear and a metal plate, and also some stone blocks. So I made this. I believe this is ready to go. Okay, you can move it later if you need to. I haven't picked out a spot for it. I don't know if anyone has a particular place in mind. I basically wanted to put one here at spawn. If I put over here, it's going to be in the way of something or other. So maybe over in between the buildings and the, you were nibbling? Nibbled mushrooms that were too poisonous. Basically, if you nibble something, so if you hold shift while you're eating something, an unknown item, you'll take 1/10 of the nutrition and 1/10 of the damage. So if you're eating something poisonous enough and you have enough of it, then even nibbling can still kill you. So that's why you want to like just nibble one, wait a while, see if you take any poison damage, nibble another, wait a while. It can take, the way I have it configured, can take up to 12 hours for the poison damage to happen. So I'm not going to make anything fancy right now. I will come back later and make something fancy, I think. Is this spot, does anyone have dibs on this spot for anything? That's for both chat and for people online who are watching the stream. Maybe one day we can have elk and build a few stables. Yeah, we can definitely. I think it's possible to tame elk now, even without doing the story quest. It it can take up to 12 hours. I think the minimum is 3 hours. 3 in-game hours. Hey, bud, I know. I'm almost done. I'm afraid I won't be able to grab him to show him to everybody tonight, because he's been a little skittish today. It was a storm. Actually, you know what? I'll put it over here. I feel like people may have plans for this area, potentially. Ooh, what's this? Oh, it's like a charcoal pit. Okay. I don't want it to be too far from the buildings. Can always move it later, actually. I don't know why I'm worrying so much. I'll put it over here. This is a little bit slightly kind of cozier spot. All I'm going to do for now is just this. I'll make a nicer thing for this later. Boom. Look at that. I haven't actually tried to set this up yet. So this is a beacon. And in order to fast travel, speaking of which, I have not made a rune yet. So fast travel is not infinite with this mod. It is a balanced mod. You have to make a rune base out of metal, and the type of metal you use dictates how durable it is. It will take durability damage when you use it. So if it runs out of durability in between where you are and where your beacon is, you will be left in between somewhere, and you'll have to walk the rest of the way back. So it is worth making them from higher quality metals. I made an iron one. I did not finish making it. I think I put it in here. Yeah, here it is. Iron runestone base. You can see I've got some temporal gears, which are needed for this. They would need a piece of clay, a knife, and a temporal gear. There is no clay in this box. Okay, take a temporal gear. Got one left. But I will be making more soon. And once I have enough that I have a couple extras, I will share them. Worry not. That's why I'm gathering up all those mushrooms and not trying to like leave them for other people, because I'll share the bounty with other people. Okay, so this needs to be smelted. 700 degrees. Okay, firewood is enough. Oh, I should put this pot of invisible compote in the pantry as well, because it spoils pretty fast. Wait, was it 700 or 900? 700. Yes, firewood. Firewood will suffice. I don't know how long it will take to cook. We'll need a couple pieces to get up to 700. I'm using the aged firewood first. I thought the aged firewood burned for longer or hotter or something than the normal firewood. It doesn't. It's exactly the same. It's just an aesthetic difference. So now I'm just trying to use it up. I found some in a ruin and I'm just trying to use it. Imagine if meteoric iron uses fancy space magic to be infinite. I don't think it does. Excuse me. I'm out of water as well. I'm gonna do this and then we're gonna end the stream. So I'm not gonna bother getting up and now you're gonna hear my voice cracking. Vocal cord dysfunction. I don't recommend it. It looks like this might take a while actually. Looks like... Oh, it's not up to 700 yet. That's why. This burns too fast. 24 seconds. How long does peat last? 25. Okay, not much longer. Although, burn up heat, we can get it up to a higher temperature, and then it will stay at a higher temperature. Firewood makes aged firewood different. Yeah, I thought it was vanilla as well. Like, what's the point of having aged firewood if it's functionally identical? You just have to make a separate storage pile for it because it won't mix. I'm just trying to use it up. There we go. Okay, it's not going to take very long at all. Just took a while to get it up hot enough. Great. Bonk. I'm going to test this out because I haven't actually tested this mod yet at all. Not even in single player. This is now done. It's got 4,000 durability, and I think it uses 1 durability. Let me get. I've already got some soaking. Do I have a barrel of just water? I don't. All right. I'll deal with this later. This will last for ages anyway, so it's no rush. The problem with the way I did the recipe for this is it just takes normal water, and it turns out well water is a different item than normal water. So I need to find a way to adjust the recipe so it accepts well water as well. But yeah, I think 1 block of distance requires 1 durability. I think. I'm not 100% sure if that's how it works. This is where we learn the mod is broken. Oh goodness, I hope not. I will be so sad. If the mod is broken, I will find a different one. I can't make a fast travel mod myself because that does require coding. Tragically. I do think it works though, because I think I've seen people saying that it works fine in this version. Jog. Let's jog back. Up. I actually need to cut this path over this way. All right. So, if I remember correctly, I think I have to like right click. It does not say. I think you right click on the... Oh, specify name of room destination point. We'll just call it spawn. Ooh. Okay. Teleports to spawn. Okay. So it's set up. Just notice a slightly cheaty bit of information in there. Oh, by the way, I do want to show off how the compass works. I left a spare compass here. Everything in this box is intended for whoever wants to borrow it, and then you just bring it back when you're done. So if you want to go exploring and you don't have a map, you can make a map here. Or you can borrow this compass and then bring it back later. I really like how this compass works. So the way it works is you hold right click, and a compass appears on the screen. And if you turn... it actually moves like realistically. So you have to know how to like read a compass properly. So if anyone doesn't know how to read a compass and is confused by this, say something on Discord or in the game or something, and we will teach you. I haven't actually used a map yet. I think... Okay, you just have to hold it. Oh! What the heck? Why is there... Oh, a death waypoint. Oh, that's where I got kicked to death. So, this is a balancing thing. I am interested to see that it does apparently fill in everywhere you've been, even if you didn't have the map open. I wasn't expecting that. But it doesn't show, as you may notice, it doesn't show you where you are. It's just a map. If you have this and I think a sextant, which I think we do have a borrowed sextant, it will show you your coordinates. Takes a few seconds. Here we go. I think it lets you see... Oh no, I guess not. I guess you need the JPS to see your cursor. But this means that in order to use the map, you have to learn how to read it. You have to learn how to look around and see where you are. And as you can see, there's a lot of buildings right here. There's the little garden. This is the spawn building. This is the pit kilns. So this is where we are right here. But you do have to... I am already skilled at reading maps. If you're not, it'll take a little bit of practice. I think this right here is... let's see, that'll be the gardener. And then Basalt's... Bones' house will be... sort of west-southwest of spawn. Might not be easy to see. Constructions, I think it's here. Constructions are not easy to see. And the dirt paths... Okay, they do show up. I wasn't sure if they show up or if you needed roads. There's... No, this doesn't show everywhere you've been, because my base is like up here. Sparrow's base is up here. So maybe this map retains what other people have put on there? I'm not sure. Anyway. Let's just... The final thing... I'm so sorry, mate. He's giving me this look of just like, please. I'm starving to death. I haven't been fed in several hours. Okay, so we'll go here. We're not too far from spawn. Hold right click to teleport to spawn. I think it takes 3 seconds. Oh, hold on. Let's F5 this. Okay, it doesn't really do much in F5. Now we know. That's cool particle effects, though. Boom! And here we are. How much durability has it lost? Only 5. Okay, so it must be like 1 durability per 10 blocks or something. Anyway, this is here now. If anyone needs metal to make themselves a rune, they can have it. Actually, I think I will just leave this one here. Along with the other stuff. So if someone wants to go adventuring and they don't want to walk back, don't really need a Jonas sub-assembly in here. Put that... Thing's full. Forgive me, I'm just going to put this on the floor for now. We're going to need to expand on the spawn storage. I need to make a sign as well for this. This is the stuff, if you're going exploring for anyone's on the server, you just don't have materials, you need to borrow a compass, sextant, map, and now the runestone, borrow them. Keep in mind, the runestone has durability, and if you go too far, it will not bring you all the way home. If you borrow the map, you can find your corpse. Well, you just died right over here, right? You mean the corpse that you just left? I know roughly where we were. We're right down in here. It'll have little sparklies above it. You weren't far from me. Can be tricky. If you grab the map, it may put your death waypoint on there anyway. I do think it'd be quite findable. We have the player corpse mod. Here you are. Rufty's corpse. Right here. Get your stuff back. Keep an eye on your food, please. Goodness, look how many freaking shiitakes are in here. Alright, I had better end this stream. Oh, there's a corpse compass 2 and the compass chisel that spawn. That's right, I've seen that on the ground. I forgot about that. You're very welcome. I think you would have been able to find it with the map as well. This is the way back. Told you, in real life, I would be completely lost. In this video game, I know exactly where I am pretty much all the time. It is ridiculous. that I can be so bad at it in real life. Oh, hello, puppy. Are you kind of stuck in there? That's actually fine. Stay stuck in there. Don't go eat all the wildlife. All right. Thank you. Whoa, goodness gracious. Look at the screen. Look at where you're going. Keep your eyes on the road, dude. Thank you for hanging out and watching and chatting. That goes for everybody as well. Once again, if anyone is interested in playing on the server with us, it's literally $1 per month on my Patreon to join, just to cover the server costs and to put up a paywall so I don't have to deal with all the stresses of running a public server. That's really it. Yeah. I hope that the server will last a long time. I really hope the game developers will slow the hell down and stop releasing a new major game version like every 6 months, because then we gotta like restart everything every time. And I would like to have a server that lasts longer, you know? And I can just keep the server on an older version, but then fewer people are gonna want to play on it. So, and since they overhaul world gen with every version, you can't even just keep the same world. And you know, sometimes mods don't get updated, and just, you know, slow down and let us enjoy this for a while. I'm gonna make a beautiful little forest retreat with a whole bunch of little buildings and stuff, some tunnels, some hidden secret gardens. I would love to have more people on here playing. I know a lot of people are very busy right now, but whenever people have time to come on, I'm always happy to see other people online. And I'm just trying to go a little more slow paced on this one. Ooh, is that a sheep or a deer? I think that's a deer. The animal's repopulating. Hold on, I don't want to... Deer run away from so far. You cannot get very close. Might try some JSON editing? You should! You should do it. Look, they're already fleeing, even though I'm sneaking. You got fresh deer. Don't get eaten by a bear. In fact, I shouldn't be chasing them this way. There was a bear in that sort of direction. All right, I gotta end this dang stream. My cat's waiting on his food. My voice is largely gone. My throat hurts. It's just been nice to stream for once. I would really love to stream more often. I know I say this every time and then I get too busy, but I'm gonna try. Partly because, you know, this is how we're gonna get more people in the community. People aren't gonna find me just by mistake. I don't think too many people are watching that old 100 Days video anymore, and the new one is not gonna be out for a while. I am gonna finish it. I haven't touched it in a couple months because life has been too crazy. At this point, it is just sort of a white whale of mine. That's what you call something that you're ultimately going to conquer and succeed at, right? A white whale. It's been years since I started it. By the time it comes out, it's going to be hilariously out of date. And I don't think it's going to get very many views because of how hilariously out of date it is and how much more popular the game has gotten over the last couple years, which is great. And I'm really happy for the developers that they're finding success. They deserve it. This game is awesome. It deserves attention. So I don't think too many more people are likely to find our community from my YouTube channel. But, you know, if I stream every once in a while, maybe some more people will see and be like, oh, that looks like fun. And we can get, you know, a few more people online. We don't need a hugely populated server, but it would just be, you know, it's just nice to have a few more people. All right, I am going to shut up now. And thank you for watching. VOD will be on YouTube probably in a couple of days. I think that's all I need to say. Bye.